I ate a vegan diet for 5 years, and here's what I learned. Hello everyone, I am Jessica Carvat. I'm a vegan health coach for women and menstrual cycle expert, and I will share with you all of the things that I have learned being vegan for 5 years. The very first thing that I want to get into right away, because we don't have time to waste, is that there are a lot of vegan diets out there that are full S, okay? When I went vegan, guys, I struggled. I'm not gonna lie. I actually ended up gaining weight and I was so confused. I thought I just had to eat healthy and whole foods and it's gonna be fine. And then I was bloated and I gained weight and I was hungry all the time and I was so confused. I was so confused. And so what I did, what most people do, is I started doing a little bit of research here and there, and I was like, okay, let me try to find things that are going to show me how to really eat the right way as a vegan, okay? So I stumbled across many different vegan diets out there: vegan keto, fruitarian, high carb, low carb, intermittent fasting. Well, you go on. There's actually a whole video that I did on that, so make sure you check it out. It's going to be in the show notes about all of those vegan diets and why they're not good. But my number one point is all of those fancy vegan diets out there don't work, okay? They're not sustainable. They're not teaching you how to eat the right way. They're extremely restrictive, and they're not good if you have not a good relationship with food. And I didn't have a good relationship with food. So going into those types of diets actually made my relationship with food even worse. So I would definitely recommend stay away from those types of diets. That's what I want to say. Stay away from those types of diets, okay? Very first thing. Second thing that I learned is when I went vegan and I wanted to be healthy, I was bloated. And I didn't understand why, because I didn't think I was eating unhealthy, because before that, the only times that I got bloated was when I wasn't eating well. When I was eating sugary stuff or processed things or fried things, that's when my stomach would go crazy. But here I am eating all of those healthy whole foods. Why am I bloated? I didn't understand it in the first place. So upon doing a little bit of research, I started to understand, oh wow, wait, I'm actually consuming a lot of fiber. So guys, I know that fiber is healthy and we need fiber for a healthy digestion. But when you go vegan, what can happen is that you're consuming way too much fiber from the start, which can leave you bloated, which can make your digestion go crazy. And this is what happened to me. And this is what happens to many vegans out there. I've worked with so many people at this point, and I see this over and over and over again, that these people struggle with digestive issues because they're consuming too much fiber. And the problem is that if you don't find your own balance, in the long run, it can become very unhealthy, because when you're bloated, when you're eating too much fiber and you're bloated, your body is not absorbing the nutrients. So you're eating food that your body is not absorbing. And the whole point of eating healthy food is for you to absorb the nutrients and actually absorb it into your body and make sure you can use it for energy and all of those beautiful things that your body needs it. But in the long run, you can really deplete yourself from nutrients. So generally, what I would suggest is really paying attention to your fiber intake and making sure you're starting small and slowly building it up. The third thing that I learned is that when we go vegan and you don't pay any attention to your macronutrients, you can go way too high on carbohydrates. And don't get me wrong, carbohydrates are great. Carbohydrates are needed, and carbohydrates are just great. I mean, I love carbs. I love pasta, I love pizza. You know, all of that great stuff. We need carbs, don't get me wrong. But if you're only eating carbohydrates, which when you're eating, for example, a whole food plant-based diet, you can feel the way that I felt eating a high fiber diet. You might also experience that you're hungrier than usual, that you're never fully satisfied, that you crave a lot of food, and this is what happened to me. So you want to make sure you actually pay attention to your macronutrient breakdown. Make sure you have an idea of what your proteins, your fats, and carbohydrates are, and you're including all three macronutrients in your meals. Very important, not only for a healthy you, but for digestion, for nutrient absorption, for hormonal health. Very important. The next thing that I learned is that a whole foods approach only is not the right way to go. And let me explain again. Whole foods are great, and my diet consists mainly of whole foods. I make sure I eat a lot of fresh food, fruits, vegetables, all of that great stuff. But if we only pay attention to whole foods, and how I said before, we don't pay attention to the macronutrients, we can overconsume on carbohydrates, which can make us feel like we're not really feeling too great, okay? So definitely making sure that when you do consume, mainly whole foods, you understand your fat sources in there. You have your healthy fats like nuts, seeds, and avocados, but also your proteins like tofu, tempeh, all of that great stuff too. The next thing that I learned is that a vegan diet does not equal healthy. When I first went vegan, for some reason in my mind, I was like, I'm vegan now. So vegan food automatically has to be healthier than non-vegan food, right? And so I thought this, and I would overeat. I would also eat actually unhealthy things, thinking in my mind it's vegan, so it must be better. Well, the truth is, calories are calories. I actually ended up gaining weight because food is food, calories are calories. And if you're eating more calories than you're burning, you're going to gain weight, right? That's the normal way of explaining it. And so I didn't realize that. I thought, coming from also an eating disorder myself and an unhealthy relationship with food, I was excited when people were telling me online that I could just eat more vegan food and not gain weight, and eat more vegan food than I would eat on a non-vegan diet, because these are the things that I believed. But very quickly I realized a vegan diet does not mean it's healthier when you don't know what you're doing, and you can still perfectly gain weight on a vegan diet. So these are the things that I learned going vegan. Definitely, if there's something that you would like me to touch more on, go deeper into, I would love to. I know I touched the surface on those things, but if something is really interesting you, make sure you comment down below, or you mention that to me. Send me a message on Instagram. Here is my Instagram handle, or here, depending on where you're gonna see it. And if you have any more comments, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.